Good afternoon, everyone. It's your boy Shad Talks Scraps, and we are back with another installment of the Wrestling Republic Daily Broadcast. We're here every day of the week, every time of the week, but today is Tuesday, and you know what that means. We got to talk about Monday Night Raw. We are on the road to Saturday Night Main Event, but we are also on the road to the Royal Rumble. It is exciting to see, and I got a great cast today, and I'm going to do a little differently because I see Ben be doing it this way. I'm going to ask the people on our broadcast today a question. Since we are going into the Royal Rumble, I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite Royal Rumble memory? We're going to start off with the guy that y'all see normally with me, Jordy in the bank. How you doing, bro?
That right there. When John Cena did that and had his dramatic comeback, that's my favorite Royal Rumble memory. Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it answered. I have got obviously a few fond ones. Kane taking out the honky tonk man with a guitar is right up there when I was younger. The John Cena and Batista tumble and Vince popping his quads is up there as well. There's some great ones, man, but I won't say them all because I'll leave some to our other guest.
Oh, I like that, man. For me personally, I don't know why Maven eliminating The Undertaker always has a special place in my heart. But Royal Rumble 2000 as a whole is my favorite memory. And it's not even a Rumble match. Cactus Jack versus Triple H, one of the best hardcore matches you can ever ask for. That is amazing. We got some people in the comments on Instagram. The homie Raph Unscripted. What's up to you, bro? He says Edge's return in 2020. That's a hell of a one, too. But let's ask our other guest. The first time I get to do a show with this guy, I call him Big Arch. Y'all know him as Archie Carter, who has amazing reviews on the Wrestling Republic. And now he's part of the broadcasting team. Bro, what is your favorite Royal Rumble memory?
Well, yeah, I'm doing good, mate. Thanks for having me. I think probably my favorite has just been taken by one of our comments, which was Edge's return in 2020. I remember watching that Rumble match with a good friend of mine, and yeah, we both kind of went crazy. And I think it's just the shock value. It was also quite emotional seeing, his journey, Edge's journey back from injury. But considering that one's already taken, I'd probably go a bit left field, and I'll say Becky Lynch kind of getting inserted into the Rumble match, and that kind of started her rise to the top. I think that's probably that'll probably be up there. I think, but Edge is at the top, but Becky's a close second for me.
Nah, for sure. Both incredible shouts, I must say. Two legends at the end of the day, too. And man, we are in full effect to the Rumble season, and we are first making a pit stop, and we're gonna go to Saturday Night Main Event, which is happening this coming weekend. We had a bit of a promo matchup. We had Jey Uso and Gunther going face to face, and I'll be honest with you, personally, I like the dynamic of this feud. I like that you have someone like Gunther who is as serious as he is, cutting a promo on Jey, belittling him, telling him he doesn't have a chance. And, Jey being the over babyface, coming back with a little bit of passion, having the fans on his side, it's going to be an interesting one because there might be a bit of a disagreement on this panel today. But I am not upset with the idea of Jey Uso dethroning the ring general Gunther this coming Saturday. I know I see you shaking your head, Archie, but let me tell you why I say this first, and I'm going to get to you guys with it because I think this is a good topic because besides the face-off, there's just something about Jey Uso's aura, him being this over, if not now, when type of situation. I see the main event scene on Raw. I see the CM Punks. I see the Drew McIntyres. Like, there's a pipeline of guys who are definitely going to be world champion. Hell, John Cena, we'll throw him in there too, right, Jordy? Like, there's a lot of people, if not win, because if he does lose on Saturday, I'm worried about where his position is on the card. Do we throw him back within the Uso bloodline stuff? Is he doing tag team stuff with Jimmy or Sami Zayn? I'm not entirely sure. I feel Jey Uso has garnered himself to be a world champion. I think this is a good opportunity. If you want the roof to explode in San Antonio, this may be a way to do so. But I digress. I want to ask you guys first and foremost, Archie, I'm going to open the panel to you because you were shaking your head, and I feel like you feel a little differently to me. So I'm definitely here to hear what you got to say. First and foremost, definitely talk about the face-off and just the match going into the Saturday night main event. What do you think should happen?
Yeah, well, so first off, I thought it was a fine segment. To me, I'm not too high on Jay and Gunther really as a feud personally. I just feel there's a bit of deja vu. I feel like it's not really. It's from their feud for the intercontinental title. I don't think the story has really progressed and is fresh enough for it to be justified to be run back. So yeah, the segment was fine. I think my favorite part about it was Gunther kind of giving Jay some hard hitting truths where they might be a bit harsh, but they are actually true. He calls himself main event Jey Uso until his cousin or his brother or Sami come calling, and then he's just back to being another member of the bloodline. For me, I don't think I heavily kind of disagree with Jay beating Gunther at Saturday night's main event. I think although Jay is undoubtedly one of the stars of the company right now, it's one of those where if you do pull the trigger on something like that, it's what happens after it, because you kind of need to think ahead. And for me, I think Gunther going into WrestleMania as World Heavyweight Champion is more compelling, has more compelling options for rivalries or matches than it does with Jay. And I know a lot of people have been criticizing Gunther's title reign already. And I probably would as well, because to be honest, it seems like we've been stuck in the same gear with Gunther's title reign since SummerSlam. We've been stuck in this same gear, and it just needs to go up a bit. But I think after this Jay match, which he should win, that's when we kind of need to push Gunther's title reign a bit more and have some credible challengers like CM Punk, Seth Rollins, John Cena, maybe even a special match with Goldberg. And I think of course I want to see Jay win the world title, but it's one of those where it's bad timing, really. It's like LA Knight last year. Like he was crazy popular, but it's just bad timing because he shouldn't have been the one to beat Roman Reigns. And he shouldn't have been the one to beat Seth Rollins. I think it was that was champion at the time either. But so for me, I don't think Jay should win, and I think Gunther's reign should go on a bit longer.
I do agree with you on the standpoint of how the title reign has been positioned. That's the problem I have, and it's not Gunther. Of course, I don't like to blame the talent. I think he does a phenomenal job given what he is. He's an incredible wrestler. He's an incredible character. But going from a historical IC champ to being world champ and mirroring pretty much a similar type of title reign in a sense, but it being like so short after it, right? Fans are kind of just gonna be naturally like, not this again kind of situation. Like there has to be a bit of a change, a bit.
Yeah.
And you know what? Why don't they feed him the big dogs in regards to the feuds?
That's what I mean. It's for me, if it was up to me, I would have had the winner of Seth Rollins versus CM Punk face Gunther at the Royal Rumble. I thought that would have been a perfect kind of segue into Seth or Punk versus Gunther. But I agree that these kind of Damian Priest, Finn Balor, although they're super talented guys, they're not guys that I want to see Gunther challenging, facing for the title personally.
Yeah, for sure. We got some good comments. First on Instagram, the homie Rap Unscripted said Jay needs the win, but I don't think he's ready. His ties with the bloodline are holding him back. I definitely agree on a lot of that last. So that it is a bit of a hamper to him. He also says, I think Gunther's reign is being kept fresh. Gunther's confidence was down during this feud with Priest, but his win in the triple threat really got him back on track. That is a good way to look at it. That is a good perspective in regards to it. We got a lot of people with their Rumble memories too. So salute to y'all saying that in the comments. But we also, we got David Modge saying it would be cool if Berg comes back at some point. Talk about Bill Goldberg. I like the nickname for that. And the homie I Make Beats saying, "What's up, WR fan? What's going on, bro?" Fernando over here saying Braun Breaker versus Gunther at Mania. Well, Braun Breaker is still our Intercontinental Champion. That is a money match. That is the Achilles. That's one of the Achilles heels for Gunther, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
Braun did beat him at NXT too.
I was going to say, I don't think they've told that story enough of Braun being the one that's beaten, one of the only ones that's beaten Gunther so far since coming to WWE. So that's definitely a money match.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm excited to see what we go with Braun. Obviously, he wrestled last night and he's got a match on Saturday Night Main Event. But Jordy in the bank, I have a question for you, sir. What are your thoughts on this feud? And also, who do you think should come out Saturday Night Main Event being our world champion?
Yeah, I am stuck on this one. I agree with you, but there was something that you said, Shad, that kind of gave me a light bulb in my head. And you said that Gunther is a phenomenal character and a phenomenal worker, and I agree with both of them things. However, every great character still needs to evolve and change. And I think that is maybe what we're lacking in this title reign with Gunther. And people may disagree with me on this, but we are seeing the same guy that was the IC champ we're seeing. And I know, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I mean, even The Undertaker changed up his game at one point because he felt that, like, that character wasn't necessarily relevant to the Attitude Era as we went into it. So he became the American Badass. And I'm not saying Gunther should do that at all. Like, I'm not saying he should ride in on a Harley or anything like that, but there just needs to be something there. And I don't want to say this because it's not entirely true because I care about Gunther, the wrestler. I'm not sure I care that much about the character anymore. I did so much as an IC champion, but him as a world champion after he got beat by Cody, I enjoyed the feud with Damien. And maybe it is because I've not seen him kind of go up against someone, but I really wanted to see a weakness to Gunther in between reigns. That was why I was always a bit, I don't know if you remember, Shad, when the belt was heading to him, I was a bit like, I don't know if this is a little bit too soon. I need to see him in a feud without a belt. I need to care more before you just throw another belt on him. I feel like that might be where we are. So because of that, I maybe would like to see Jay come out on top. And a bit of a contrary thing to what you said, Archie, of like going into Mania, maybe Jay isn't the best option as a champion. Completely can see where I agree, essentially, is what I'm saying. But when was the last time we changed the champion at the Chamber? In the Chamber? To really throw a spanner in the works. Like, have Jay the champion until the Chamber, make him defend it in the Chamber, make him lose it there, and make everyone go, oh my God, we're 4 weeks out and we did not know we were getting this Mania match and now it's happening. I don't know what that Mania match is, but I don't know. I feel bad to kind of take the belt off Gunther, but it is kind of a thing of like, if you want to strike while the iron's hot, give Jay the belt for a 6-8 week run, and then whoever kind of costs him it at the Chamber, whoever pins him, that's his Mania match or whatever. But the other thing, I guess I would say, if he was to lose, and to your answer, Shad, of what would he do if he did lose, then I think somehow they need to turn LA Knight into a heel. I think he works better as a heel anyway. But if you have heel LA Knight against face Jey Uso, that's a Mania match because people are just going to be shouting yeet and yeah, and it'll just be fun. And I think those two going against each other on the mic, I think they will have good chemistry. So I don't know what the avenue is to turn LA Knight heel, but I think it is kind of overdue at this point, because otherwise I worry about him. So yeah, that's a possible avenue that I'd like to see if he doesn't win.
That'd be interesting. Obviously, those two guys are. I see the parallels with the character. I think you have them both over in ways. Both got a lot of charisma. I like LA Knight as a heel a lot too. We got Kobe with the wrench in the comments. The homie Kobe Galazowski. I said your name wrong. My bad. The most growth we saw of Gunther is him losing his confidence while being champion, which was odd. That's a very, very, very good point. I'm not gonna lie. Kobe brings a good point to that. Also, like, kind of maybe it was the fact that he did, like, I don't know if a lot of people expected Sami to beat him at Mania. I think a lot of us kind of just had the mindset maybe he was going to keep the ball rolling and possibly lose it to Chad Gable with the dynamic of that baby face. You know, that story of him overcoming that is something I thought was going to happen. I'm not upset about it. Obviously, I'm a big Sami Zayn fan, but still within the storyline, it is a little different. We got numero one Superfly saying the last time the world title changed was back at the Elimination Chamber in 2022, where Brock won the WWE Championship back and challenged Roman. Yeah, I do remember that. That is a valid point in regards to your comment up from earlier. Mm-hmm. And then Kobe also saying Sheamus said he was trying to get back to Mania, so I think Sami was a replacement. Okay, I mean, I don't know the behind the scenes stuff.
Could be, but,
I like to live in kayfabe, even though Triple H told me that kayfabe is not real no more. That broke my heart, Hunter, but he's still my dog. Let's get to the next comment because we're going to talk about Sami Zayn. This is a good segue for that. We got the face-off between the two guys that are the best wrestling soulmates in professional wrestling at the current juncture of active wrestlers, in my opinion. KO, Sami Zayn. It goes all the way from Ring of Honor with Kevin Steen and El Generico. It went through NXT, and we've seen it on the main roster. We've seen roles reverse within baby faces and heels. This time around, we got Kevin Owens doing some of the best heel work in pro wrestling at the moment, in my opinion. I think everything that he's doing with Cody Rhodes, I think all of his reasonings against Cody Rhodes are great. But he approaches, Sami Zayn, and he asks for a helping hand because he knows that's his brother at the end of the day. And he knows that it is someone that he can kind of lean on. And Sami at the moment, he's splitting hairs a little bit because he's got friendships with a lot of people in this wrestling space, from the Usos to Cody to Seth. It's a tough one. And to me, that is the interesting part of this story is I don't know where Sami's going with this. Now, if I was a booker and I had the pen, I might do something completely different because I like to see the world burn. But I think I truthfully would have Kevin Owens win at the Royal Rumble, and I would have Sami Zayn win the Royal Rumble, and I would have this match at Mania. I know it's not the hot commodity. I know people may not look at it as the Romans, Codys, the CM Punks, but man, if you talk about two dudes that are kind of unsung heroes for Paul Triple H Levesque from the beginning time and when he got these guys to just the WWE in general. Like KO did a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Sami was a big part of the whole bloodline storyline. I feel like they kind of deserve it in a way. And I think they can continue to tell this story on the grandest stage that is WrestleMania. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm interested to see what we do get with these guys. And I'm interested to see what you got to say about it, Jordy.
I very much agree, to be honest. I didn't at the start when you started talking, but as you got to the end and finished what you were saying, I kind of was like, he's got a point. You're right. And it's a shame that we're not in that same kind of mindset in the everyone loves Sami and still does, absolutely, but it's not last year. The year before was Elimination Chamber, when he had the match against Roman, and it was like red hot. Like Sami Zayn was like next to Cody. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like general popularity. And it's a shame that he's not there right now, but that to me shows that he can get there. And you can't tell that bloodline story again. It's hard to recreate that moment, you know, at the Rumble where he turned back on Roman, especially because, I mean, the person he's potentially going to be fighting is the person that he turned, like, double turned on to hit Roman with a chair. So, but to your point, man, they're great. They would tell a fantastic story. If you're asking me, do I think these two have the potential to main event WrestleMania and be in that final slot on a Sunday? Yeah, I do actually think that they have the capabilities to do it. I think that they're talented enough to do it, but very much like you, I don't think it will. I think it's the first Mania under the Netflix reign, under the Netflix era. And I think that makes me lean more towards what the execs might want in terms of them big names in them big slots at Mania. However, do I think that KO and Sami could be a potential Mania match? Yeah, I think it could. I think if they're trying to build the biggest and best Mania card they've ever built, because they've got, I mean, look at the Rumble, for example, just for a list of names, both sides, men and women's. Especially if you include the women from NXT in that, like, they could put on the greatest Mania of all time in terms of, like, on paper. You can't predict whether it's going to actually come off like that, but you can create them cards. And I don't know. I think they'll be on the card. I think KO and Sami, I think they were boarding that train now, and I think they're teasing it because I think in a few months' time they'll be stood across from each other on the grandest stage of them all. Rather than being side by side this time.
For sure. And I definitely could see it being that way as well. Them having a match definitely does seem like something that's important. We got a big comment from the homie T. Glitch. Salute to you. I'm just kind of paraphrasing because it's a big explanation, but virtually he is saying that do you guys think that it's a little bit too close to when Sami just got back into the bloodline and KO kind of just not being tied to everything? I'm assuming you mean towards the Survivor Series build and whatnot. I think that's part of the ploy of it, right? KO is kind of against the bloodline and Roman and against everyone that kind of he feels his deemed backstab him by joining the bloodline. That's the big premise of everything going on with Cody. And a lot of that is the same with Drew McIntyre, crazy enough, too. So and we'll talk about that coming up. We have a couple of great comments. Obviously, Seth, we'll talk about that in the main event. He did take the Halula kick. We got Fernando saying that he thinks KO versus Sami at WrestleMania. He also says that he thinks that Kevin Owens is a more compelling. I'm sorry, I Make Beat says that KO feels like a bigger champ than Cody and Gunther, in my opinion. I think that's just how good Kevin Owens is, man. He gives you a lot to sink in as a character. And this is an interesting one. I don't know how you feel about this, Archie, because I know you're a TNA guy, but he wants KO to go to TNA to win the TNA championship.
I mean, it's an interesting suggestion, but I'd be up for it. I mean, why not?
It would be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that too. I don't know if it happens, but
I think it's credit to Kevin Owens that, like, you tell me any situation with Kevin Owens and I'll just be like, yeah, all right, let's give it a go.
Like, check it. Did Kevin Steen ever wrestle in Impact?
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
No, I'm not sure, to be honest, but I mean, it would create buzz if it did happen. I think Joe Hendry's looking more at John Cena rather than Kevin Owens at the minute, but you know, second best option, I guess.
Yeah, okay. And Sean Ellis corrected me. He said, nah, he hasn't. So that is helpful. Thank you, my good brother. Let's segue for a second and take a break from Monday Night Raw, because I do want to talk about our good friends at Progress Wrestling. Demand Progress Plus. If you use the code Watch Progress, you get half off your first month for Demand Progress Plus. This is the home of Progress, Defy, and much more. I don't know if y'all have been sleeping under a rock, but they got some pretty big stuff coming up. I saw Rio versus Mako Satomura be announced. That's crazy. That's incredible. I'm excited for that. Give me matches like that and just extensive library that they do have. It's a bang for your buck. If you like pro wrestling, highly recommend supporting them, supporting us like y'all usually do. Also in the comments, we got the homie Chaos saying, "What's up, Tuesday gang? What's good, Brody? How you doing, man? We miss you over here, man. Hope to see you back soon. And you know, I need you to help me make fun of Jordy more often because Archie seems like a nice guy. You know, he's still new here, so
I'll change. You'll soon change.
Don't want to
man.
ruffle his feathers yet.
By the way, Chaos, are you still watching? They gave this Joker ways to unmute himself now. So all right. Clark Ruin and stuff. But let's talk about the women's division real quick. And let's talk about a couple things that happened yesterday. Obviously, it is the transfer season going on. People from Raw and SmackDown can talk to the general managers and negotiate themselves onto another show. And we got a new transfer. Bayley is coming to Monday Night Raw. That was official yesterday. She is ready to take Raw by storm. And she had an opening match against Nia Jax. Bayley lost. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like Bayley is just becoming a big time L taker. She eats a lot of L's, but it is what it is. Post match, we did have something that happened prior to it. Nia Jax attacked Rhea Ripley pretty maliciously backstage. After the match, Rhea Ripley comes out, gets revenge, ultimately is challenging Nia Jax at Saturday night's main event. This ain't that great to me. I don't dislike any of the women. I just don't know how quickly we're jumping into all of this. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Roxanne Perez was there. I am excited to see the continuation of that. But Archie, I think you might be a little bit better at breaking this down and sharing your thoughts on what happened yesterday. So let me know. What are you thinking about this whole Nia and Rhea Ripley situation, as well as Bayley in the midst of it too?
Right. Well, it's a bit difficult because I'm going to start with the match and say I didn't actually have that much of a problem with the match. Bayley and Nia's got some decent chemistry. It wasn't as good as their SummerSlam match, but it was a pretty decent TV match. I've got a massive problem with Nia Jax's character's intentions, right? Because so she just recently, Tiffany Stratton, who has played her and manipulated her, cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase and took one of Nia's most prized possessions, I'm sure, in her championship. And instead of having all her focus on Tiffany Stratton and taking that title back from Tiffany and putting it back onto her shoulder, she's out here on Monday Night Raw beating up Rhea Ripley, and I don't get why. I don't, why are you even getting involved in this? Why would she be getting involved with Rhea's business when somebody like Tiffany, who she considered a best friend for quite a good few months, has just completely betrayed her? And another problem I've got with this is I don't think Nia, although I like Nia and Rhea's matches in the past have been great, I just don't think Nia and Rhea, I'm not really happy with Nia being Rhea's first title challenger personally. I feel like that honor could have gone to someone more, not more deserving, but maybe with a better story. Like, for example, the first person that comes to my mind is Zelina Vega. We still haven't tied a nice knot on Zelina and Rhea's story yet. And just a 3-week build up to Saturday night main event with a match finishing at Saturday night main event between Rhea and Zelina. That does a lot more than, by tying a nice knot on that story, than nice bow, then Nia and Rhea just facing off again for I don't really know the reason why other than they just they've just been beating each other up, and that's really there's no other real reason why. I feel like Nia and Tiffany was literally a Royal Rumble match sitting right there, and I feel like someone like Zelina could have been a much better challenger for Rhea, especially as there's a story literally right there, and they still haven't finished that story off yet.
I'm all for more Zelina, always more Zelina. Completely agree with you there. And I think that she should turn heel soon. And I think that could be a good way to make that happen. So I agree with you.
Yeah, and
for sure.
She's definitely. Thing is with Zelina is I think she's one of the most underrated women's wrestlers, not just in the ring but on the mic. I think. Well, I'm just telling the truth. She's on the mic. I think she's probably up there with some of the best in WWE, in my opinion, in the women's division.
You know what? The one thing I will say is the integration of both titles. What do we tell is a mid-card title contender and a main card title contender, right? I think that's one thing that is a little murky. I don't know if we have enough main card challengers for Rhea, especially at the standpoint there ain't a lot of heels on Raw. The only heel team I see is the PFC that are eating L's all the time too. So that's something that it comes with concern. So I'm definitely I don't know. I do agree. I think Zelina definitely is someone that should be doing something. Like, she don't get to do nothing no more. It's kind of trash.
I just felt this is Rhea's not got any title challenges yet. This is this is kind of a placeholder feud. Whatever feud she has at Saturday night's main event, this feud with Nia is basically a placeholder feud. I feel like it would have been a lot better to just use this time to tie a nice bow on their story, because I feel like we've kind of just drifted away from that, and they've actually got quite a heated story. I mean, Rhea took away what could have been a pretty big moment for Zelina.
And they put on a good match as well. They've got in-ring chemistry, like fantastic. So
yeah, this was a hilarious comment that I have to show because I respect sarcasm a lot. We have oh man, where did it go? Well, the homie Mike said we should just run Nia and Becky because we haven't seen that enough. Oh my goodness. A lot of people are saying, having a lot of high regards to Zelina Vega. Fernando is saying that Jordan Grace is winning the Royal Rumble, challenging Rhea at Mania and winning the title.
Jeez.
I'd like to see it.
What are you smoking?
Ooh. No, I don't know. I do want to see that match a lot. Jordan Grace is one of the best in the world. So, I mean, I said it a couple weeks ago. They made a clip for it. I said I wouldn't have her win the Rumble just because she would just be coming into the WWE. But there is a big opportunity to do something different just because I don't know who wins the Rumble, to be honest with you. Like, there's no, set person that you think can win the Rumble this year because no main event storyline besides maybe Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton as a potential dream match. That is for certain. So
that's how it should be, and it's the same in the men's. I just love it that I have no idea who's going to win, and there's multiple avenues that they could go down, and like solid good matches that it's not just like throwaways. Like, I mean, John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. There's three very, very big names that could win a Royal Rumble right there. So yeah, and it is the same on the women's side. I have no idea, and I'm open to see who does it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Io, it could be Charlotte, it could be Becky.
One thing I will miss, and I hope Chelsea is still the US champion going into the Rumble, that we won't get a funny Chelsea Green spot probably in the Rumble this year because she's a champ, so she probably won't be in it. But there you go.
Yeah. And then Sean Ellis said a person like Piper Niven is someone who could definitely potentially get
Yeah.
an opportunity. But let's get to this last topic because we are running a little short on time. And I think this is something that we definitely want to talk about because speaking of the WrestleMania, we had a WrestleMania rematch last night. Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. Netflix on Raw is just giving us high level main events every week. I am not complaining about it. I love it. I love it a lot. These guys put on a great show. Seth, by the hair, by hair, caught Drew lacking. Roll up win, gets the W, man. And Drew McIntyre always loses in these type of fashions.
I love roll-ups. I love roll-ups.
He gets a little too ahead of himself, but he takes the L. It is a protected loss, I would say. But post-match, we got to go back to what we had earlier. Sami Zayn comes to save Seth because Drew is attacking him post-match or whatnot. Drew able to, hit a little whoopsie, and Sammy hits Seth with a Halula kick. That's how we close off the show. I am very invested to see what goes on because, yeah, and it goes back to the Gunther thing. The main event scene is so hot right now on Raw, but it's not circulating around the title. But man, everything I'm interested to see. I want to get y'all's thoughts more.
Have I frozen or is Shad frozen?
I think it's Shad's frozen.
Right. Well. I guess. Hang on. I can do this. I'll talk. Right. So yeah, Shad. Thanks for handing that over to me. My thoughts on the final segment. No, it was solid. It was a solid match between these two, and I didn't expect anything different. If I'm completely honest, like it was always going to be a solid match. These two are two of the. I can't say it. They're probably two of the best in the industry at this point. It wasn't necessarily a match that I was going into expecting anything huge from, and it was like, why are we getting this? It was a great main event, but the things that I like the most about it is I feel like we're starting to build, starting to put bricks in place, starting to lay the road to Seth Rollins turning heel again. And I feel like I'm just constantly talking about people turning heel, but if there's anybody I think that could do with a heel turn at this point, I think it is Seth Rollins. We've seen him for a while doing his thing and laughing and joking, but he can still do that. He is Joker-like. It is kind of, he's the visionary. He's always one step ahead. And I want to see that. I've seen that people are kind of talking online about this unholy union, but not actually unholy union, but of like Drew, Kevin, and Seth teaming up together at some point. And with the internet being, I was reading a message with WrestleMania being so close and on the horizon. I don't feel like we're going to get that kind of 3-on-3 match anytime soon, unless it's at a pre-Mania kind of event, like the Chamber potentially. But I'd rather see a few of them in the Chamber personally. What about you, Arch? What are you saying? Hang on, let me do this. That's the wrong one.
There we go. Yeah, no, I love this match. I felt like it felt like a proper kind of Monday Night Raw main event. I liked it being billed as like a WrestleMania rematch. There's been quite a few times where WWE has had a random singles match on a Monday Night Raw, and they said, "Oh, it's a WrestleMania rematch," and just kind of felt like a normal match. But the kind of build to this and the video package and everything, I thought kind of made it feel like a big deal. What I love at the minute, and it's probably one of the best parts about WWE, is how interwoven all of the main event storylines are right now. Because if you think about it, you've got Cody KO, Drew Seth, Sami Seth, Sami Drew, even Drew Punk. All of these stories stem back to one man, and that's Roman Reigns, which I think which is something I absolutely love, that even to this day, even when his even when he's lost his title, we're still seeing the effects of Roman Reigns' historic title reign and the effect it's had on the roster and kind of the characters of everyone in the men's division in WWE. So I really that's probably one of the best parts about WWE for me right now. And the end of Raw was brilliant, a nice cliffhanger. It's either going to be Seth or Sami that turns, and I've got to probably agree. I think it'll probably be Seth. And yeah, maybe that trio of Seth, Drew, and KO might come into a reality.
And I am back now.
He's back.
Had technical difficulties. My internet dropped on me. I had to switch on my.
You had us thinking we'd cut out, and then you had people in the comments thinking that they'd cut out. It was all a big thing.
Yeah.
I apologize. Apologize on that. My apologies. Man, the factor that we have a lot of guys that are kind of splitting hairs on what kind of if they can be a heel or a face makes this dynamic kind of interesting too. Because any of these dudes could flip. Like Sami could, go back into a different heel bag that we haven't had an opportunity to see. Seth is the king of doing this, right? And then Drew,
I've got a question.
What's up?
I've got a question for both of you and the guys in the comments, right? You can pick one heel turn out of all of them, and then including Cody Rhodes. Who are you picking?
Go ahead, Archie.
Okay, I'll go first. I'd probably say Cody, to be honest. I think Cody Rhodes in that kind of Homelander like esque character, I think that has a lot of mileage. And it's something that I'm looking forward to, and I think that we've seen it teased. So yeah, Cody is that kind of corporate Cody, as so to say. I mean, going from being potentially one of the most beloved wrestlers in the business to one of the most hated, that screams cinema to me. Sorry, David, I know you hate that word.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna go with Cody Rhodes. I think it would be the most compelling, and it'd be new for him. And he's a damn good heel too. So I would go with Cody Rhodes. The comments are saying Cody as well. Fernando saying Cody.
I think it could be fairly new for the industry as well. That's the thing. Like this Homelander thing of being like he wouldn't necessarily have to portray a heel as such. Do you know what I mean? Like he could actually keep doing the PR appearances and keep doing all the photos with the kids, because like that is what Homelander would do, because it looks good to the optics. But then we start getting these leaks of behind the scenes footage. Exactly. Like I'm saying, and I've been saying it for ages. He doesn't listen to Nick Aldis, and he never has. Never once. Every time Nick Aldis says something, Cody says, "Nope, I'm going to do it my way." And he's the only person that Nick lets do that. And who was like that? Roman Reigns.
Hey man,
it's the belt. It's the belt. It's not the people. It's the belt.
It definitely is. He definitely comes off as a politician. So we'll see what happens, man. This is what I also think will happen too. I can see him turning heel on Cena. Party does think that is the way to go, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see, man. Hey, this is all the time we have for the rest of the show today. Thank y'all in the comments for watching, and we'll be back same time tomorrow. If you're not got anything to do tonight, NXT off the air, myself, Drizzy, and Clark will be there. Yeah, and in the words of Jay Uso, deuces, we out.